Okay, hi. So I will be trying to answer an interview question. I will try to attempt this question again. I just finished one solution, but I think it could be done better, maybe more, uh, a little more faster. And yeah, so I will try to do that. So the question it is about combinations, and we have an input parameters. We have initial amount of money, coins. We have a menu with different items: coffee, cake, popcorn, which each um, price. And we need to calculate optimal amount of products that we can buy for our coins. Print all possible combinations of foods. Okay, so I had something prepared. Yeah. So we are going to separate our code into zones. We have our run. So this is what we are actually going to run. And this we have functions and classes. Maybe not classes, just functions. But yeah, we could have just like coffee and the prices. And we are going to remove this. Okay. And we have the menu and stuff. Okay, so let's just do it like this. So we're going to create a function solution, and inside our function solution, okay, our function solution we're going to have um like initial money and menu. Okay, so I think our solution could be actually, let's just var result. We're going to store the results. I think it could be like a matrix, basically, just not to overcomplicated things. My last attempt to solve this, I use a custom class, but yeah, maybe with a matrix it could be a little faster and just to the point. Okay, we have our results, and we initialize it with this, and we could have a menu. We'll have a menu. So our menu equals the items. Yeah, I think we could have an array of items. Shouldn't be that bad. Yeah, we could create a simple class or a struct. Yeah, I think a struct it is good. Struct item, and with that struct, we will have a name. The name is going to be a string, and let price be an int. Okay, that should work. So with that, we could just use this. Yeah, and let menu equals to an array of items. So we're going to add the coffee, we're going to add cake, and we're going to add popcorn. Yeah, okay, that's good. So we have our solution and everything. Okay, so maybe just start with the backtrack. So they just create a function called backtrack, and it will have an index as a as an input. we're going to have an index and our path. And our path is actually going to be an array, an integer array. So the idea is that our path is going to be an integer array. The first element, path with the index 0, it is just going to be the change, and from 1, 2, 3, and so on, it's going to be the amount of items for each item in menu. So path is going to be size one more than menu. It's going to have one size one more than menu. Yeah, that looks good, and it should work. So we're going to have our backtrack. So from our backtrack, we're going to separate the code in 3 parts. So we're going to have our base case, decision 1, that is going to be just add 1 or not, and decision 2. Okay, so our base case is going to be if index. So let's just calculate the size for the menu. So it'll just be let number of items be equal to menu dot count. Okay, so if index it is greater or equal than number of items, or actually we don't have enough change. So the change is going to be the path in the first element, the first index, or path 0, it is less than 0, so we don't have enough change. We are just going to return. We kill that branch, that possibility. I'll just call it here, path 0, path 0, stores the amount of change. Okay, if we need the minimum. So yeah, so if our path 0 is less than the minimum price, so let's just calculate the minimum. So for the menu, let's just be let minimum price equals to menu.min for something. So for that something is going to be wait a minute. Okay. Yeah, so for that minimum is going to be like this. We're going to sort it with this function. So we have our item, and we're going to have the price, and we are going to sort it with the price. Okay, that looks good. It should work. Actually, let's just call the function solution. We're going to call full solution. Initial money is going to be initial money, and menu is going to be menu, and just print minimum so we know that it is working. Error, yeah, fat minimum price. Let's just do this. It should work. No? Okay, maybe this. Okay. Warning. Or default value. Okay, minimum price. That is that. And yeah, actually that returns the item, not the price. So for that, we're going to take price, and if it is not anything, so let's just return 1, but that will never happen. Okay, 100, it works. So far we're going good. Okay, so if path 0 is less than minimum price, remember that is the change. So we are going to return our results. Return, and we're going to, in result, append path. Result, it is basically a matrix, an array of arrays. Okay, that works. Okay, so we have now our decision 1. So the first decision is basically append the first item. So let's just go to the path, and for path index, so we are going to have the index for the path. So path index, we should increase that by 1, because that means that we're increasing 1 for that element. Yeah, so I think that we could have like some functions. So maybe let's just call a function called increase item amount. We're going to have an index, so that is the index, and we're going to have a path, and that path is going to be an int. The int, it is a reference, no, it is a value type. We need to change the path. So how we are going to change the path? It should be an inout. Okay. So the index. So we have the path that is starts the amount of change and so on. So let's just take this. For that index, we are going to increase that by 1. And for the yeah, we need the menu. or just the item? I think the menu is good. Okay. And we need to keep in mind that the menu and the index are different. So maybe start with 0 and path index increase 1. Or decrease 1 for the menu. Yeah, I think it is less confusing starting with 0. Okay, so we are going to add 1 for the index to the path, because index 0 it is reserved for the change. Yeah, and actually we're going to change path 0, and we're going to decrease it by menu index dot price. So we're decreasing by the price for that item. Yeah, that seems to be working just fine. And actually, let's just do the decrease. And the decrease, it is subtracting 1 and adding 1 to the price. Yeah, to the change. Yeah, so that looks good. So in our first decision, let's just call this and then backtrack. So we increase the item amount. Menu is going to be menu. Here we're going to have an Inout. So this is going to be our path and the index. Then backtrack. We're going to backtrack with the path. So index and path, and then the same with the crisp. Okay, so we just actually backtrack. We return for our previous state. Then we backtrack with our index plus 1. Okay, that's good. And if index it is greater or equal to a number of items, or path down, it returns. So yeah, so in this case we have 3. So if index it is greater or equal than 3, we're killing that branch. So we have the backtrack, we have this, everything works. So we just need to create our initial path. So our initial path, we're going to have a change. So how we're going to do that? Let's just do bar path equals to, is going to be an integer, and we could okay, let's just not to overanalyze it, or maybe yeah, maybe we could have like initial money, that is our initial money. Then for e in menu, path dot append, let's just append 0. Yeah, and yeah, just call backtrack for index, we're going to start in 0 and path our path. And at the end, the result has everything. So yeah. Now this should be in our solution, but outside of backtrack. Yeah, this function backtrack. Yeah, that works. Okay, so we have our path, our backtrack, and then for e in result, let's just print I. Yeah, that works. Okay, so 35. Gonna convert value of type int type to expected type int. Index int. Gonna pass immutable variable as inout argument path. Path is a let constant. Yeah, so this is actually index. Run it. Okay, that's better. But it is let. Yeah, of course. Inout. Yeah, that works. Yeah, we have the perspective change and everything. 4 coffees, 2 coffees, 1 cake, 2 cakes, everything. Yeah, so that's basically it. Yeah, that's faster. Yeah, maybe we could add some function to print it prettier and yeah, that is more useful. So we're going to append, and actually we're going to here we're going to just do this just so that is better. So bar string is going to be equal to this. We're going to do it like this. This is the change. Okay, that's good. And here we're going to add, for this string, we're going to add I dot name plus comma Yeah. And at the end, we're going to there dot remove last. Let's just do this twice. So we could remove that and the comma, the space and the comma, and add closing. And then print that. Okay. Here and maybe here. Run. 49. Okay, change coffee cake popcorn. Yeah, that's like a little better. But yeah, so that is basically it. Thanks.